but he must be punished. Either by you or somebody, he must be punished. Oh, what kind of punishment do you normally give to people? Already enough punishment has been given, isn't it? Already it's been given. The ugliness, the nastiness, the silent treatment, everything has happened. So what more punishment you want to give? Your thing is there is no remorse on the other side. There's no remorse on the other side because people are doing what they want to do, not what you want them to do, always. And that may not be in your interest, but they're doing what they want to do. Is it right, wrong? I'm not going into the morality of it. I want you to understand the mechanics of the situation. Somebody is doing what they want to do. Now you think they must be punished. Probably they have not broken any law, otherwise they would be anyway punished. They're breaking an understanding between two people. Probably you misunderstood the understanding. You believed that these understandings are absolute. They are not. Nowhere in the history of humanity or today or in any time in future will human relationships be absolute. Though every person who gets little romantic believes that this is going to be an absolute relationship, there is no such thing about it. A relationship is a variable, always. You have to conduct it on a daily basis. One day if you don't conduct it properly, it may go somewhere. Yes or no? No, please look at it as it is. You have to conduct it right. So, no, I'm doing my best. Obviously somebody feels your best is not good enough for them. I want you to come to terms with this. This is not about… I'm not saying what they're doing is right or wrong, that's not for me to say. All I'm saying is, this is how human beings are functioning for ages and still are. I'm saying, first of all, you need to understand, relationships will never ever be absolute. There will be variables that it's juggling that you have to do. If you're juggling with fireballs, sometimes it'll spill out. Takes lot of skill and attention. Yes or no? You married, many of you. Doesn't it take a lot of skill and attention? If you don't pay any attention, you don't know what the hell is happening. It takes a lot of attention, isn't it? Someone just called me from some country in Europe. And, "Sadhguru, I'm just doing housework, come and save me." Take me away to your ashram, I'm just doing housework. She's washing dishes and stuff. Well, very affluent, but has 4 children. So all the time there is something to do endlessly. And today the maid did not turn up, so you have to wash the dishes. 4 children are there. You got to wash the dishes, you got to wash everything. So I'm saying, you need to understand this. A relationship is a variable reality. It is not an absolute reality. If you want to have an absolute relationship, you must hold relationships with the dead. That's the reason why a lot of people choose God, because it's an absolute. You can handle it whichever way you want. If you didn't think of him for 10 days, and on the 11th day if you think of him, he's still there. You do that to your husband or wife or somebody, then something else will happen. You went away, got busy, forgot about God for 3 years. Again you can think, still there. So if you want to have an absolute relationship, you should not choose human beings. Human relationships are variables, needs lot of attention. So that's why some people decide in their life they don't have the time and the energy to manage such things, so they take another path where there is no such obligation. They close their eyes, they're by themselves, they don't care who is around them, what's around them. So you can't do that. I think it's best. In trying to punish somebody, you will only end up punishing yourself. They're doing what they want to do. It's best that you see what is it that you really want with your life. You don't have to react to them and do something stupid like them. You just have to sit down and look at this. When your illusions are broken, you're disillusioned right now. It's a very good thing. If your illusions are broken, that means life is bringing you closer to reality, isn't it? So this is an opportunity for you to sit down and see, what is the nature of my life? Why is it? See, this piece of life is a complete piece of life, isn't it so? Is it half a life? Are you a half a life or a full life? Full life. Why is it that it feels so incomplete that it needs another person to fill this life? Why is it? It's time to look at it, isn't it? If this is a full life, this is complete by itself. But right now, you made it in such a way that this cannot exist with that one and that one, without that one and that one and that one. So somewhere it's an incomplete life, or at least it has not realized the fullness of its nature, isn't it? This is a complete piece of life, packed with creator and creation together. Very great combination. This is a time when life knocks at your door like this, it's time you look deeper rather than reacting and trying to fix somebody else. Punishing somebody else is not going to transform your life, not going to make your life beautiful in any way. Some sick satisfaction you'll have for 2 days, after that you'll feel guilty about that also. Yes, initially when this emotion is hot, it gives you satisfaction. After some time when you look back, you'll feel ashamed of yourself. So don't go that way. This is an opportunity. Somebody is opening up a spiritual dimension for you, really. Somebody is making you realize how fragile all these things are. They can cheat you, they can run away, they can divorce you, or they can fall dead, isn't it? If they fall dead, you wouldn't think that he cheated me. Would you think? No. But whichever way you denied, isn't it? The important thing is you denied something. How he did it is not the problem. He denied you something either by death or divorce or cheating or whatever you call it. But essentially you got denied. You can be denied only because you are in a certain illusory state of believing that this is half a life and it needs another half from somewhere. No, this is a complete life. If you blossom as a complete life, you will see relationships will be of a completely different nature. It will be more of coming together and sharing, not of extracting. It has to transform. If it has to transform, you have to transform. This is a great opportunity somebody has given you. Stop using this word, somebody cheated me. Just say somebody is pushing you towards ultimate reality from an illusory state. We must thank that person. We must be grateful. Instead of keeping you in an illusion, instead of keeping you in your life for a whole lifetime, so soon they're making you realize this. Otherwise you will know this at the time of your death. Yes. You'll know at the time of your death, when you're dying, I'm scared, why don't you come with me? You'll say, no. So at that last moment, instead of knowing, it's better to know now.
Now, Krishna was placed in Gokula, in a cowherd community. Being the son of a king or a chief, now he's placed in an ordinary cowherd community and he grew up. You must have heard any number of stories about his butter and milk and all this stuff, because those were the only snacks that were there in that community. There was no chocolate cake, butter, milk. They were the main things there. So, whatever was the cream of the food available, he went for that.
Much has been said about his childhood. Innumerable songs have been written about him. The legend has lived for 3,500 years, as if it's yesterday. Probably in most families, they talk about Krishna's childhood much more than the childhood of their own children or grandchildren, even today. So it is such a celebrated childhood because he just drove people into a frenzy with his simple beauty, his smiles and his flute, and the dance in his step. So Krishna very roughly, very proudly, he says, I stole butter. If I don't steal butter, there would be no zest in the village, no excitement. So he and his friends slipped into other people's homes, opened the tiles in the roof and got in. And they would be hung high up there so that the children cannot reach it. So they climbed on each other's shoulders and got it. Or when it was too high and they couldn't get it, they took a stone and… So this curd and butter, if it made a small hole, it just poured out and they drank with their open mouths. Or sometimes it cracked and the whole thing crashed down, so they gobbled it from the floor. They shared it among their friends and all this there was excess. There was just a few brave boys who will do this. Others started playing it safe. So they called the monkeys and fed the monkeys. So people… This is all very romantic, but it's like your refrigerator has been raided by your neighbor's kids. That's the reality. So some are angry, some are, heartbroken, but they were not as paranoid as people are today. Today they would get neurosis. Those women were not made that way, they got angry, it's their livelihood, it's so many things. So they complained about Krishna constantly. So when they came home to complain to his mother about what he has done, he very proudly says, I would hide behind the mother and make loving eyes at them, and they would smile. So even if they're angry, these gopi women were wonderful. You just have to make lovely eyes at them and then they will be okay. So much culture, song and music and dance has evolved around these simple pranks of
Krishna and his friends. Here, all this happened. One thing is because there are other aspects to his life, but one very basic thing is he was irresistibly beautiful as a man. Even as a child, people were just drawn to his physical self, the way he was. In the northern part of the country, where generally people were fair, he was dark complexioned. Bluish black color. But he was so attractive as a child that people were willing to overlook all the quite terrible pranks that he played along the way. Today it's an unfortunate reality that many people in the world, there are any number of people in the world who never even walked joyfully for 10 minutes by themselves. There are any number of people in the world where not for one moment in their whole life did they sit in front of somebody really loving them. Their whole life goes without a moment of these things happening. For such people, there is no entry into Gokula. Gokula is a place where people romped about joyfully, even doing their work. They sang, they danced, they loved. 24 hours being joyful, being loving is not out of reach for a human being. Why Krishna is such a huge factor in the cultural ethos of this country is, this is a man who romped through his life, no matter what was happening. His life went through various types of situations, right from his childhood, many extreme situations. Since he was… from the day he was born, people were trying to kill him. In his childhood, any number of assassins came to execute him through various factors and sometimes through his superhuman capabilities. These things were warded off, but the most important factor is he went through it like a dance, joyfully, blissfully, lovingly. Wherever he was, whether he is in a battle or just about to behead his foe, there was a smile on his face. Whether he was in loving atmospheres, joyful atmospheres, terrible atmospheres, when it was necessary, he became stern. But the moment that necessity was over, in all kinds of extreme situations, he smiled and went through it. Unfortunately, people would like to see this as a divine quality. Smile is a human quality. It's not a divine quality. Human beings who have lost it have transported their joy to heaven. They have exported their joys to heaven, only there it's possible. So, as a child, he exhibited various qualities of his own. When he was just about 3 months old, as an infant, it happens to be one of the Paurnami festivals. That means in these pastoral cultures, full moon day was always a celebration. Every day was a celebration.
Full moon day was a good excuse. So for the full moon day celebrations, in the afternoon itself people go to the riverside and the families gather and they're cooking, and in the evening after eating, dancing, everything happens. So all the ladies are busy cooking, so children are left here and there with somebody, this very young infant, just 3-month-old, because it's sunny. The mother, Yashoda, left Krishna under a bullock cart, a parked bullock cart for shade. He was sleeping for some time, then he woke up. Still he doesn't have the legs to move around and dance, but he wants to be there. He saw nobody was paying attention. He just kicked the wheel of the cart and the whole cart crashed down. That was the first display of his superhuman strength whenever it was necessary. Otherwise, he lived as a normal human being, going through all the strifes and struggles of any human being. But at certain moments, he exhibited certain qualities which were beyond what you can call as human. So everybody was aghast that the cart crashed and they thought the child is crushed, but nothing had happened to the child. And a few little boys who had seen this, they said, he kicked the cart, that's why it fell down. Nobody would believe it, what nonsense. A 3-month-old child, can he kick the cart? So all the adults dismissed that these children are, wild imagination. As he got little bigger, 5, 6 years of age, he got more organized. As he got more organized in his efforts, people who were losing their butter got more and more distressed. So lot of complaints started pouring to his mother, constantly people coming and complaining that your boy, please keep him at home, he's our refrigerator. So it became a little too much. So Mother Yashoda scolded him. He had his way with her. If she scolded, he knew how to cry immediately. He put his face down on the floor and just cried and bawled, just waiting for her to attend. He even goes to the extent of saying, I did get angry, but not like other people. When other people got angry, for example, when my elder brother got angry, he screamed, he stamped his foot, he got angry, he paced up and down. I could see he was wasting a lot of his energy. I did not get angry like that. I just got angry to the extent it was necessary.
The Kalabhairava karma is of one nature, Kalabhairava Shanti is of a different nature. If you're talking about people who have been long dead means dead for more than 48 days or 90 days, they're dead, or let's say more than 9 months, they're dead. So they're long dead. 1 year, 2 year, 10 years, not much different. Beyond 12 years, beyond 11.5 years, beyond 4,356 days, there is a difference. Within that, if a person died, see the problem is this, that one must understand, socially here for us, death is death. How they died doesn't matter. The person is missing, that's all we know, being here. But death is not the same thing for all, as life is not the same thing for all. So many millions of children are born every day. Do all of them play out the life the same way? Similarly, so many million people die every day. or hundreds of thousands of people die every day. And life does not play out death does not play out the same way, because death is just another dimension of life. Similarly, as life does not play out the same way for every person, death does not play out the same way for every being, it all depends on how. So, Shanti is done more as a kind of an effort. If any help is needed, we want to provide that for our ancestors, for our forefathers, or our grandfathers, or fathers, or mothers, or whoever. What is the help that we are trying to provide? What can we do? It is like this. I'm continuing to use this analogy for quite some time because I think that's the best analogy we have found yet. Like a bubble. See, in my personal experience, when you leave the body, depending upon what level of evolution you are in, how thin or thick your casing is, accordingly things happen. If something is, let us say, your casing or your bubble is too thick, it cannot break, it will go to the river and bounce back. What is the river? River is a stream of energy, a kind of energy which is neither life nor death, but a completely different kind of energy, which, for lack of words, we can say a kind of energy which saves you, dissolves you, so it is called as Vaitarni in Indian tradition. Vaitarni means, it is a savior, one who is good at saving you. So what is the saving? It is not a physical river, it's a metaphorical expression, but there is a stream of energy. When disembodiment happens, naturally every being moves towards this river. Some will bounce back, some will soak in it, some will easily cross it, some just dissolve right there. So if somebody crossed the river or somebody bounced back, these two people you can help. If they have bounced back or if they've still not crossed the river, let's not say bounce back, they've still not crossed the river, now you do Kala Bhairava karma. Now they might have, you don't know for sure, they might have crossed the river, but still because of the thickness of their shell and their own attitudes, they may be going through this in an unpleasant manner. You want to bring some pleasantness, you want to bring some shanti to them. So you want to shave off one layer of their nonsense, whatever, maybe some unpleasantness will go away and pleasantness will happen. This is all the effort that you're making. If they're already pleasant, you still want to shave off one layer so that they will cease altogether. Pleasantness is also a bondage. As unpleasantness is a bondage, pleasantness is also a bondage. Unfortunately, with pleasantness, people take more time to realize that it's a bondage. With unpleasantness, very easily you realize it's a bondage. So, you're trying to bring some pleasantness, but for sure you don't know. Maybe your grandfather or whoever else has already dissolved, maybe there's nothing to do. You don't know, but you still do as a duty so that in case he needs it, in case somebody else… See, this is… once you do this work, this is not only individual, because there is a certain Runanabandha which connects people. Suppose you do Kala Bhairava Shanti for your grandfather, but he doesn't need it, he's already gone. Now, your grandfather's brother may be there, whom you don't care about, but he may benefit. I hope it's okay with you. Because your grand-uncle benefited, maybe you didn't like him, I don't know what's the situation, but he may get help. So people connected with that kind of Runanabandha may get helped, somebody else who is not even your relative may get helped. So, this has been kept as a culture that you must keep doing Kala Bhairava Shanti. It doesn't matter whether your ancestors are hanging around there or not, we don't know. maybe they've dissolved, maybe they've attained to mukti, maybe they're come back and reborn and again, it doesn't matter what, you keep doing it so that all the related people will benefit from that. Pitrupaksha means… Pitru means doesn't just mean your father or your grandfather. Everybody who is the source of our existence is our Pitru. So you want that to happen to all the people connected. It doesn't matter, we like them, we didn't like them, we knew them, we did not know them, but all related people to whom we can do something, we do something.
Our book on karma has been overdue because the word karma has gone everywhere in the world, become part of almost every language. But what karma means, the level of misunderstanding and misinterpretation of this word is phenomenal. So I thought it's time to release a book on karma as a guide to craft one's destiny. Karma is not about punishment and reward. Karma is not about being sinful or virtuous. Karma is about understanding the legacy of information that comes with our birth and continues through our life, enhances itself to various levels and impacts every dimension of our experience. The word karma literally means action. That means, as the action that you perform becomes more and more conscious, your destiny also will become a more conscious possibility. That means essentially, you're going where you want in your life. For most human beings, socially, career-wise, they may be going where they want reasonably, but in their experience of life, a whole lot of human beings are not going that way. The level of suffering that one creates within oneself is largely because we are attributing our experience to various things. Karma means action. Action means my doing. So, my life is my karma essentially means I am the maker of my life. So, this book explores step-by-step possibility of how you can take charge of your destiny, how you can craft your destiny by being conscious about various levels of karma that you perform in terms of physical activity, mental activity, emotional and energy activity. Karma is being accumulated. If you bring the light of consciousness into these aspects, how this can be transformed, the methods and the possibilities and the consequences of this. This is what the book explores. It's my wish and my blessing that every human being should be able to craft their own destiny. Namaskaram to everybody, all the citizens of our beloved nation. I want you to understand what democracy means is, this is a recent happening. Never before in history of humanity were common people able to select or elect their leadership as to who should govern us. Was never our choice. We were just ruled by all kinds of sundry. This is the first time as a democratic nations, we have this opportunity, we can decide who should conduct the governance of this nation. So every one of you should come out and exercise this responsibility that you can decide the future of this nation, you can decide the future of your children, whoever you think is best for the well-being of the nation, not based on religion, not based on caste or creed, not because somebody is paying you money, but what is best for this nation, you must choose according to your choices. Myself, I have a schedule in United States. In spite of that, just for one day, on 18th of April, I am back in India just for one day to cast my vote, and again I have to come back to United States. So all of you, this is not a picnic day, this is not a holiday, this is a very important day. You must exercise your franchise with utmost responsibility.
When I was growing as a child, both my parents were working, and there were times I was feeling lonely and very miserable. Although my parents did give their part of comfort to me, there were times I was feeling lonely on the inside. And what can our future parents, or what can we do to our kids to not feel the same way? Thank you.
Well, in India, this is the first generation where women have stepped out to work professionally. Otherwise, because we were largely an agricultural community, women worked, but in and around the house. And if they went somewhere to the field, they took their children and went. So always like you see ducks and chicken, if the hen goes, behind that the chicks run, like that children were always running behind women. So she was always doing her work and still managing and tending to them, and there was a certain cohesiveness to that. But today women are going to the office or to the factory or to some other business, so they can't take their children there. This is the first generation of women who've stepped out. So in the society, we still don't have arrangements, proper arrangements, where children can be properly tended to. That system, that facility and that arrangement has simply not happened in the society yet. I hope it happens quickly because it's very important. It doesn't matter whether it's a biological parent or somebody else, but children need a loving, caring atmosphere. It's very important. Just putting nourishment into their stomach is not the only thing. They need some attending to. Somebody should smile at them, somebody should laugh at them, somebody should do something with them, play with them. This is very needed, otherwise children will grow up a little sick in their head. It is not necessary only a biological mother should do it, but there must be a committed person doing this. It's very, very important for the child. Unfortunately, in this society, we still don't have those arrangements.
For spiritual life, whether one has to search for a Sadhguru or it happens.
Where will you search and how will you know who is Sadhguru and who is not Sadhguru? You have no way to judge, isn't it? So how do I seek something? You just seek. You simply seek, I want to know. The more you become I do not know, the deeper your seeking is, isn't it? Seeking does not mean seeking something. Seeking means seeking that which you do not know. If you have to seek, you should not make any assumptions, isn't it so? You already made an assumption, God is sitting up in the heaven, I am seeking Him. This is not seeking. This is just hallucination. Seeking means simply seeking. Seeking is possible only when a deep I do not know has happened within you. If a vacuum of I do not know happens within you, Sadhguru will happen to you. You don't have to search. You don't know how to search. If you search with your intellect, naturally you will search for that kind of person with whom you are most comfortable, isn't it? See, if you seek a friend, what kind of friend do you seek? Do you seek a friend who punctures your ego every day? You seek a friend who nourishes your ego every day, isn't it? Yes or no? If somebody punctures your ego, he becomes your enemy, isn't it? So even if you seek a guru, you will only seek with this context, and that kind of guru who comforts you is no good to you. There's nothing spiritual about giving solace to people. It is just a psychological comfort, which your family can offer, which your dog can offer. Dog is good solace for you, isn't it? Yes or no? You have pets at home? They can be a great source of solace for you, isn't it so? You don't need a god for solace. You seek the beyond, not for solace, but for liberation, to become free from everything that you are right now. So if you are seeking a guru for solace, there are many. If you are seeking a guru for liberation, then if you sit with him, you feel threatened, you want to run away from him. But at the same time, you don't want to leave him for a moment. If you constantly feel threatened by him, at the same time you want to be with him, that means he's a good guru for you. If you're very comfortable with him, he's a no good guru for you. You must be constantly uncomfortable with him. At the same time, you long to be with him. That is a good prescription for you.
Here we are at Hampi. Historically, this has been one of the greatest cities that ever happened in India. And many travelers, Portuguese, Italians, Chinese, and people from Arabia, many travelers have described this city as the greatest city of the time in the world. An Italian traveler comes down to say that it is far bigger and greater than Rome. The city covered over 60 miles of circumference. Among these beautiful rocks, which still remains and exudes an aura of fascination, an aura of magical presence, I cannot wonder why they would have chosen a place to set up a city like this in these rocks, because in terms of defenses and the magical presence of these rocks, the place is full of rocks. Probably we will show you some shots later. It's a rocky place, magnificent rocks. A whole lot of them have been broken to build structures and temples, but still the live rocks which are just sitting all over the place create such a magical atmosphere even today. This place has a historicity which goes back into 4,000 year BC. There are caves where even today there are images and carvings in the caves which are over 4,000 years old. And Agastya Muni himself seems to have come, we can say in many ways, because he stepped in here and did something significant here. From then on, there's been no looking for this place, there has been rise and fall, but it rose to its height, true heights, during 13th, 14th century, during the great Krishna-Devaraya era, when it was called as the Vijayanagar Empire. Somewhere in early 14th century, two brothers who were known as Hakka and Bukka, or Harihara and Bukka, who were governors in the Kakatiya Empire, learned the art of administration and stuff, and then they decided to come here and set up their own kingdom. This region was continuously in warfare between the Ballals of the Karnataka and the Brahmini Sultanate, where the northern Mughal emperors were trying to go south. In many ways, for 200 plus years, the Vijayanagar Empire became a bulwark to stop the flow of Islamic invasions into the south. That is one reason that the influence and dominance of Islam remained minimal in the south, and Vijayanagar Empire was mainly responsible for making that happen, because they organized their armies, and this is one empire, probably the only one in the country, which controlled both the coasts for a period of time. From coast to coast, from east coast to west coast, entirely they controlled the territory. So the sea trade was dominated by these people. Probably no other Indian king or emperor ever controlled the sea trade as Vijayanagar did. And they dominated the place, and they brought in European and Arabian goods into the country, and they traded extensively with Asia, Arabia and Europe. So, this whole empire existed in such a phenomenal way at that time, the glory of it, you still cannot miss it. One thing is, there is a story about how this happened. These two brothers came and they were captured by the Islamic Sultanate and taken to Delhi. And they converted themselves to Islam. For over 15 years they lived as devout Muslims, because that was the only way for them to survive. Then they were brought back here to take charge of this place and rule this place as representatives of Delhi Sultanate. And then they met sage Vidyaranya. They formed the first step, the first foundation stone for the Vijayanagara Empire was laid like this. How they chose this place is interesting. This place called Anegundi, we are just little off that place right now. Here, when Vidyaranya and the two brothers came, they went hunting with their dogs, and there were 5 dogs and a hare. There was a hare. These 5 dogs, the king's dogs, attacked. The strange thing that they saw was, normally a hare would be killed in moments if these 5 dogs go at him, but this particular hare stood up and fought the 5 dogs, and kind of the dogs backed off, looking at the fierceness of the hare. Then they decided that this is the place where they should establish their kingdom, and from that basis and from that kind of symbolism, that it doesn't matter who you are, if you're willing to stand up and make these things happen, you can fight back and build it. From that basis, they built this great empire which stretched across the southern peninsula, covering the whole of Deccan, coast to coast.
Look, I have to congratulate you. You made it through a deep, unfiltered video. That takes attention, openness, and courage. So leave your city in the comments, or share a quote that stuck with you. If you feel this could help someone, send it their way. Thank you, Big Hug, and until next time.